So let's talk about what it means that the Israeli Defense Forces in Israel and Netanyahu murdered 3 hostages yesterday. It's a terrible thing to have happened, and a terrible thing that they did. And 1/6,000th is terrible of the terribleness of what they're doing altogether, because they've murdered 18,000 people there so far. This is just 3 of them, but these made the news. Let's talk about what it means, because Hamas had kept these hostages alive during 3 months of bombing, 2.5 months of bombing so far, and then Israel murders them the very first chance they got. How many other people have they probably killed in this way? If they're not checking for weapons, they're not checking for any actual threat level, they're not even trying to talk to people, they're just shooting people they see. 3 of them all at once. So it just goes to show, numbers wise, how they've probably been conducting this operation. The outcome so far is they're claiming that they're going to retrain people. Like, don't shoot people as soon as you see them, is supposedly the new training they're going to instill 2.5 months in, or whatever the new training is supposed to be. But the real outcome that needs to happen is the calls for the overthrow of Netanyahu need to grow into the actual overthrow of Netanyahu. I call it a pillar revolution. You can do it nonviolently from bed or from the streets, but even from bed on our phones, if we just break through the shadow bands that keep these types of information from getting out there and spreading. We just plan on overthrowing these tyrants, saying, you can't do this anymore. It was your actions, your choices, your methods of doing things that got these people killed. You killed these people just like you've killed 18,000 other innocent civilians. Twice as many as Russia's killed in the Ukraine war in, you know, 9 times as much time. 18 months or 20 something months of Russia's war in Ukraine hasn't killed half as many people as Netanyahu and Israel have killed in 2 months. So we need to be on the right side of history about this. We need somebody on the right side of the presidency. We need AOC or any other real American, not somebody who's going to support tyrants and refuse to arrest somebody who's trying to do a coup. It's all Putin's puppies, too. When you look at it, all these are Putin's puppets. If we just start taking them out of power and putting them in jail, then it will be a domino effect that gets rid of Putin and, the right-wing European leaders and leaders in other parts of the world as well, because they're all the same threat to all of us. And here's one example. We need to end war sometime anyway. It's got to end with some war. Even though there's numerous wars going on right now, this can be the end of it. If we overthrow Netanyahu for choosing war instead of cheap peace, for choosing to murder these people, then we can overthrow the other tyrants who are part of that network and show how it's done. I believe in the people of Israel and the people of Palestine can get this done and not only overthrow Netanyahu, but end up with a peaceful, pleasant place to live when they rebuild the damage that Netanyahu's plans have made. You can't bring people back to life, so we got to start this sooner than later. It's unfortunate this happened. This happened this time of year at Hanukkah, a few days before Christmas, in this holy season for people. It's a shame that any of it's happening, but once it's gotten to this point, we need to make something good out of it and at least overthrow the tyrants that are actually causing this to happen in the first place, actually causing the pressures that and the situation that made it like this all these years, and just release hostages that you've taken so that in exchange for other hostages. The peaceful solution was working. Choosing against it has gotten people's family killed. And for that, and for many, many other things, they need to overthrow Netanyahu. But we also need some will to get a real politician who will really protect America and help overthrow other tyrants such as Putin in other countries as well, and save this earth from these people that really just want war at all costs. And now we're seeing what those costs are.